I could probably do a burnout with it today, but I won't do that because I want to make sure I seat those rings before I start to lose too much oil through them. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we're going to be getting the 4-valve swap ready to go on a main voyage. We're going to take it from here to the eastern end of this island and we're going to bring it back. There's going to be a lot of miles, there's going to be a lot of fuel, but we're going to finally get to break in this motor and begin that ring seating process. So let's get into today's video. Alright, so like we ran over briefly in the previous video, we need to change those injectors, we need to plug in them off, disconnect the O2 sensors, we need to get this radiator patched up. It's a couple of small stuff and they really are pretty boring, so I probably won't even do it on camera. After driving around with those injectors in, I can still smell a lot of fuel, so I don't think it's going to be running lean on those. I think I want to break in the motor with those, and then I want to get a tune for the 24-pound injectors to match the 4-valve MAF. So I'll just break in the motor with these, knowing that it's delivering enough fuel, and then swap over everything when it's time to tune it. I already have an SCT X4 tuner, so we don't have to worry about that. No vacuum leaks, no fuel leaks. Definitely need to get this sorted out. I got one big bolt just making sure the terminal is tight. Probably gonna get something small, I'll put it in between it and just clamp it down. I don't have any, what do you call those? The battery shims to go in between them, but should be fine. I need to put some power steering fluid in here. I heard the power steering pump whining a bit. Really small odds and ends, but what I will do is I'll plug in them off today, fill it up with brake fluid, disconnect the O2 sensors, and then we should be ready to go when it comes to taking this thing on a test drive. Like I said, that test drive is probably going to be in the video after this because I have to make an entirely separate video because I got to set up a few different cameras and a few different angles just to make sure we get this thing documented properly, and hopefully by the time as I come back down from that long run, the rings are seated and we don't have any oil coming out of the exhaust. Just got done dealing with the battery situation. I put a shorter bolt in here and tighten it down. I unplugged the O2 sensors, plugged the MAF in, and if you guys are wondering about my MAF situation, it's on the opposite side because the Marauders were the only 4-valve motor to put the intake this way, and I think there was a Jeep motor that did it as well, but I'm not sure. I just extended the MAF wires from on the other side over here and put the battery over there. With the battery, I had a battery box, but the battery box was too big. What was happening is the battery was laying on this hose here, laying on the engine. What I actually did was use a battery hold down strap and just tied it in place. It can wobble a bit, but it won't be able to run into the motor, won't be able to run into this coolant hose, so we're good there. Only thing left to do now is crank it up, see if it runs any better. I highly doubt that it will, but let's be hopeful. Well, I guess this thing is not happy. I haven't found the reason. It might be the MAF wiring or something like that, or the MAF connector, but anytime I have this MAF plugged in, it just doesn't want to run right. I don't know if the MAF is the issue, but we're just going to unplug it to run the vehicle for now, and it's going to be running solely on the base map that it came from the factory with. No MAF, no O2 sensors. Let's see how it runs. Well, I guess she wasn't happy with the MAF injector combo, also with the O2 sensors, probably having an issue with those. Like I said, this thing needs a tune for the 4-valve swap. We all know that. I'm just trying to get this thing running, get it driving, get the motor broken in before I spend money remote tuning this thing. Because like I said, I live in the Bahamas. I gotta pay someone in the States to tune this thing for me on the street. So all of this stuff costs money, and I need to make sure that I'm not putting a tune on a motor that's a dud. So we gotta break this thing in first before we tune it. But you guys have been patiently watching me build this thing. I gotta reward you guys in some kind of way. So check this out. Alright, as you guys have just seen, that is the first burnout of the rebuilt 4-valve motor. It sounds amazing. We need to get this thing out on the road, get it broken in, and like I said, I can't say it enough. This thing, the throttle response, the power that it puts down. I have factory gears in that Mustang, and that thing burns as if I had 411 gears. I had 411 gears in the green Mustang, so I definitely remember what it feels like. Just now when I popped the clutch and I revved it, I was trying to figure out, are the tires spinning? Because the RPM went from 1,000 straight to 6,000, and like with no hesitation, didn't feel any load, anything like that. So this thing is producing some ponies. We need to get the motor broken in so we can fully enjoy this thing, so I can license, insure it, and just beat it around town, get it painted, change that top, and focus on more aesthetic stuff because the motor is almost done. The next video is going to be an absolute banger, and you guys don't want to miss that. We are going to be driving this thing from the shop all the way to the eastern end of the island, and we're going to be bringing it back. And by the time we get back down, this motor, the rings, everything should be broken in. So thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Always remember, don't drift without your dreams, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.